see how that goes. But hello, everybody. This is Mike the Biz, or DLP Mike, whichever you guys want to call. And today we are going to go over the news in wrestling concerning WWE and ESPN. If you guys haven't already looked at it, right, or been online today, basically what happened was that I guess starting January of next year, ESPN will now be hosting the WWE Premium Live events. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, if you guys can hit that like button, hit the heart, follow, etc. like that. We are live on my YouTube channel. I am trying a new thing. I am like streaming on TikTok separately because I have a couple hundred subscribers on TikTok already. So I definitely want to share the love on here. So if you guys are just joining in, share. If you guys like wrestling, if you guys want wrestling news or wrestling chats, we can go ahead and talk about that. But yes, let me go ahead and just fix the stuff going on here really quick on my Restream setup. I don't know what's going on, why Restream is like it's buggy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my browser or what, but anyways, Titus on the YouTube side says, hey, have a good day. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. So we are going to go ahead and talk about this. My source is FightfulWrestling.com, guys. So just a heads up, if you guys don't like Fightful, you don't have to follow this specific chat or channel. But again, reports is saying that WWE with ESPN, they broke a deal worth $325 million per year. It's $1.6 billion over the course of 5 years. So now WWE at the end of this year will now be transferring its PLE ownership. It'll be transferring its PLE ownership to ESPN. So what does that mean for you as a user, right? So first of all, if you have cable platforms already that have ESPN included with your cable platforms, for you that means basically that you won't have to pay extra. All you have to do is just log in under your cable or satellite login, and you won't have to pay any extras for that. But let's see. Again, my source is Fightful directly on this, guys. So again, appreciate you guys coming in. If you guys can hit the like button, if you guys can share. We got 10 people on the TikTok side at least. What is the start date of this new year? I believe it's in January. So I am going to read off of the Fightful website. So again, my source is FightfulWrestling.com, guys. So again, Wednesday, WWE and ESPN announced a new deal that will bring WWE Premium Live events to the platform in 2026. According to CNBC, ESPN will pay WWE an average of $325 million per year for 5 years. The deal includes 10 WWE PLEs a year, including WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and more. So the deal begins in 2026. So that's interesting, first of all, because WWE is not saying that they're moving completely away from Peacock, right? So if ESPN is getting 10 PLEs, that's only 10 months out of the year, guys. That means that we might get lesser events like Saturday Night Main Event or Crown Jewel, whatever you want to call it, on Peacock still. So you might have to still continue to hold or have Peacock in order to watch these events. Also, Peacock might continue to have the WWE library. It's only been announced that WWE's PLEs will go to ESPN, not like the entire video library itself. So again, beginning in 2026, PLEs will stream on ESPN ESPN News $29.99 per month direct-to-consumer platform in the United States, and select events will be simulcasted on ESPN linear networks. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people are saying they got the VPN ready for this. So if you have a VPN, you can actually, I think you can still source the WWE network outside of the US, right? And I'm sure it's only $9.99 a month. So we'll see how that goes. But let's see. In many ways, this is our destiny, said the TKO president, Mark Shapiro. If you want to expand the audience, our fan base, the fervor around WWE, and grow on real significant national scale, you can't do that as it relates to the sports world without partnering with ESPN. Our place was built as the entertainment and sports programming network, said ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro, referencing the literal meaning of the acronym ESPN, right? this is a fantastic way for us to expand our audience. It's younger, it's more diverse, and it's more female than what we see on the network level, at the network level. So obviously, you know, over the last 5 years, the female division has grown. We just recently got, you know, we recently got the second iteration of Revolution pay-per-view, and it did very well. So again, guys, you know, tell me what your thoughts. Titus says great, so don't need Peacock. Like I said, that really depends, because like I said, it's only going to, only 10 PLEs are going to ESPN. So that doesn't mean that we might not get other specials on Peacock, like again the Crown Jewel events, or possibly again Saturday Night Main Event, which I'm pretty sure WWE contractually obligated to still show on NBC, right? Which in turn, you know, that's going to be on Peacock, right? They'll be streaming it live on Peacock. So for now, you know, that's what they have as far as that goes. Let me see if I can find some more information for you guys. But again, guys, what do you guys think as far as the, let me fix that, as far as the actual like switch up here? Again, if you have cable or satellite, which me, I do have cable, but I do not have ESPN on my cable platform. So that means I can maybe add ESPN and pay more per month, so that I don't have to, you know, pay an extra $29 for, you know, that ESPN. And it's not going to be ESPN Plus, guys. From what I'm reading, it's going to be a brand new app that is released in August. So it's called ESPN Direct. I don't know if they're going to be directly streaming or airing this on, you know, the WWE or just ESPN in general, because you know you have ESPN 1, ESPN 2, and other platforms of ESPN, right? So for this, it's like, to me as a consumer, it's upsetting, right? Because if you don't have ESPN on any of your networks, right, you're going to end up having to pay the $29 a month. Yes, so we know there's ways around this, right? You know, again, you can get a VPN and you can, you know, lie about your location, right? You know, how are they going to know that you know you're not in the United States, right? A lot of people do this. A lot of people do this with you know, the WWE network, right? Maybe they don't want Peacock, so and sometimes again they show you know, they show SmackDown on Netflix on the other side of the world. So a lot of people don't want to be paying for other platforms. They don't want to be paying for, you know, all of these, you know, streaming services just to get, you know, the WWE content, which is crazy to me, because I felt like that's what the whole point of the original WWE network was, right? That was the purpose of it. I don't know why they decided, hey, we're gonna you know, get this and it's not gonna go anywhere else. Hold on, let me share this really quick. Copy link, smash the like button. Making sure the stream quality sounds good, guys. 1 second here while we get this going. And you know, again, I wonder if Tito's available right now, because I do want to get his opinion on this. Let me see if I can share this. Invite guests, right? So anyways, guys, let's see what you guys are saying on the TikTok side. Thanks for the gifts, by the way. It looks like somebody liked or gifted. I got 7 hearts, so thank you guys for that. We're down to just one person watching now, so I had like 6 or 7 people watching. And again, if you guys are just joining in on TikTok, we are talking about WWE news right now. So, you know, again, appreciate you guys being here. Smash the like button. I only plan to be on for like no more than an hour, because I do have to go to work. So just a heads up on that, right? I want to talk a little bit about SummerSlam as well. Maybe get into that, and Monday Night Raw, right? Go over key points on SummerSlam, just because it was enjoyable. Let's see what we got going here. Hold on. Okay, we are live. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab some water really quick. But yeah, let me know what you all think about the ESPN and WWE deal so far. Sorry guys, when you talk this much, your throat gets raspy. So definitely. So Titus on YouTube is asking, damn, look at all the ads that we get from Fightful. And now you guys know why I don't like to use Fightful as much, because look at all the freaking ads that they have. I mean, I get that's how they make their money, but that's just ridiculous. Let's see. Let's go back to Twitter, I guess. I want to go back to Twitter. Let's look for Sean Ross Shappies in here. So, okay. So Titus asking, what do you think about how SummerSlam went? Okay. So SummerSlam actually was one of, in my opinion, it was one of the better PLEs of the year. And the fact that it was 2 nights, I thought it was successful for the first time, them doing it for 2 nights. You know, we had big things happen both nights, right? And, you know, I didn't feel like each night dragged. Some people might disagree with me about SummerSlam, but I don't think that either night dragged. I think that both nights were decent. You know, Seth cashing in on CM Punk after CM Punk, you know, had the fight of his life with Gunther. You know, Brock Lesnar returning, Cena losing the WWE title. I thought that was pretty crazy in itself. You know, the tag match with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus whoever the hell they wrestled against. I don't even remember. I'm like blanking out on that already. Let me see. TJ said, did you see the WWE made a big deal? That's what this whole, that's what this stream is about, TJ. Where have you been, brother? Where have you been? I don't know what's going on. Restream is messing up, guys. Hold on. I'm going to remove my lower third here really quick, guys. Or let's see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Here we go. Can we make this smaller? Can we make this? There you go. Let's see. I'm trying to bring up the chat here, but it's just not. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's just bring up the chat over here on this end. On TikTok side, they said, why can't they keep the PLE on Peacock and not go to ESPN? Why pay $29 a month? So, I mean, for the most part, I think that probably their contractual agreement with Peacock was coming to an end as far as the PLEs go. A lot of people probably thought that this was it was just going to go to Netflix, right? But, you know, the Netflix only has the right to Monday Night Raw in the US. You know, as far as bringing over premium live events, that might have cost Netflix another $5 to $6 billion. So yeah, TJ, this is what the stream is about, man. Again, what is going on with the freaking, hold on. Man, Restream is bugging, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, I should go back to StreamYard, man. But I'm trying to, like, add y'all's chat over here, and it's not going through. So let's see. Can I fix it? Why is it? Well, let me turn this off. No. What is going on? Okay, I'm going to go back to... I want to go back to the regular format here, but it's just weird. Armando Pola on TikTok says he's done with WWE. I mean, I get it. A lot of people are upset about this, honestly. I mean, at first I was upset about this, but then I thought about it and I'm just like, well, yes, like I agree with WWE that, you know, on a larger scale, on a larger platform, here we go. What is going on with TikTok over here, man? I don't know what's going on. Can we just exit the chat here? Hold on. Chat. I know it's not my browser. I don't know what's going on, but it's like got me cut off over here, guys. There we go. We'll just do it like that. It's just going to not show me on the screen, I guess, or it's just going to be like a portion of a cutoff. That's so weird. Okay, hold on. We'll do that. We'll do that instead. But why pay $29 a month for all the PLEs? Exactly right. I have a feeling that, you know, in some way they're going to try, like at the end of the year before it's all said and done, they're going to try to promote some deal so that people, you know, can move over to, you know, the ESPN platform without having to pay the $29 premium price. You know, it kind of like when WWE, you know, did their thing with Peacock. They were only charging $5 a month. And I think they gave it free for like the first 3 months, I think, on Peacock. So, you know, a lot of people don't have cable anymore. A lot of people don't pay for satellite subscriptions anymore, right? Because streaming services are there, and you know, you don't have to, you know, pay all of that, right? YouTube TV is there, etc., like that. So I mean, I was upset, but at the same time, like, I'm gonna find a way around it, guys, right? I'm gonna find my way around getting to this, and if I figure out a way to where it's gonna be a little less expensive for you guys to pay, I'll share that with you guys. But you know, again, a lot of people are upset with WWE. It is going to open more eyes to the platform, though, because if you think about it, right, ESPN is the leader in sports. You know, they cover all the major sports, you know, and of course, you know, obviously they've been partnered with UFC for a while as far as doing some of their events and being able to purchase their live events through ESPN Plus. So you going to pay 30 a month or not? Hey, what's up, Armando? I personally probably won't, but you know, again, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? If I have to, I will figure out a way to do this, right? I will figure out a way to get this going. So let me figure this out really quick. Hold on. Anyways, yeah, restream is messing up on my end, guys. I'm trying to stream on YouTube also, by the way, guys. So if you guys don't feel like watching on TikTok, I am streaming directly on YouTube as well. So you can watch my stream on YouTube. It's a little buggy right now because I do use a streaming platform on YouTube, and like my screen or whatever, it's just messed up. I don't know what's going on. My chat screen is messed up. I have no clue why. It's so weird. It is so weird. I can't even turn on my captions. Like, the captions don't even work at this point. There you go. Mike, co-host of the podcast. Let's go. But like, okay, host of the Deadlock podcast. Okay, here, I'm just gonna leave that there. It's buggy. Anyways, guys, on the TikTok side, they are mentioning, let's see. So the ones that have PLE on Peacock, why can't they move all of the subscribers over? So all of WWE's PLEs are gone, going to be on ESPN. So that's the thing, right? I mentioned this earlier, Kirby Kid, that they're not saying that they're moving over the WWE library, just the PLEs. So that means that the WWE library, as far as like, you know, past events, etc., like that, might stay on Peacock. You know, it's just going to show up later on that platform possibly. But you still get all the WWE original content on Peacock. And as far as I know, probably Saturday night's main event will remain on Peacock because it is an NBC show. That show originally aired on NBC. So I think that's what's going to happen. Did you see what? Okay, hold on. TJ on the YouTube platform saying, did you see that WWE made a big deal with ESPN? Yes, I did. Okay, man, am I seeing this late? What is going on? I don't know what's going on. Would you say for a bigger pay-per-views for here on out, I feel like you're going to have 2 nights of action instead of just 1 night for the big P? I think you're referring to like WrestleMania, right? Yes, I do think that is something that's going to change for WWE. Maybe not all of its PLEs, but I see going forward that like its big 4 pay-per-views are going to transition to 2 nights: Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and possibly Survivor Series. Although I feel like Survivor Series might not be one that is going to be a 2-night event. They might do another event. But we'll see. You know, I'm interested to see how this changes the dynamic of WWE and how it changes how the PLEs look. For the most part, you know, for the past 3-4 years now, most of these big events are stadium shows now. So, hey, what's up? We got RNA in the house, Rhythm and Art. We are talking about some wrestling news over here. Thanks for joining in. Just sent a gift. Thanks for the gifts. I'm not. Again, I apologize. I'm not really seeing that. I'm streaming live on YouTube and on TikTok, so I'm kind of going back and forth from screens over here, guys. So definitely do apologize. But hopefully you're having a good day. When is WWE coming to ESPN? So this change will happen on January. Probably before the Royal Rumble. So, the Royal Rumble will probably be the first PLE on ESPN. So just keep that in mind. Once once the last Peacock PLE happens this year on Peacock, you're gonna see the transition in January. So Royal Rumble will be the first event as far as that goes. Yeah, TJ on the YouTube site saying WWE wants to not have the PLE on Peacock because of the deal with Peacock has ended. Like you were saying, WWE is trying to move to bigger stadiums, not like they've been doing the past couple of years. So I mean, it's crazy because like if you pay attention, right, WWE have been doing big stadium shows. They've been doing not just the ones in the US, but they've been going out of the country. So who's to say that, okay, we're not going to get a WrestleMania or something to that extent in Saudi Arabia, which probably will happen, or they're going to have their version of WrestleMania. I'm hearing that they want to do 2 WrestleManias a year now, which is pretty crazy, guys. But anyways, RNA says I'm working, so don't worry about it. Oh, thanks. I'm sure you're listening in the background. Hopefully you're not working too hard today. So thanks again for tuning in to the Death Block podcast here. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Just followed me, I guess. 4 letters, 1 word. Followed the live creator as well. Thanks again, 4 letters. So we'll not be able to watch the Royal Rumble on Peacock. No, you will not. So again, guys, keep in mind this is going to be different, very in your location, right? If you're not in the United, this is only pertaining to people that live in the United States. Okay, so people who live outside of the U.S., United Kingdom, Europe, etc., like that, most likely you're going to be getting all of your content on Netflix. But I don't believe they'll have to be subscribing to ESPN. But we'll see. Again, I don't know what's going to happen exactly. Again, some areas of the world, they still have the WWE network, right? So WWE network, again, in those portions of the world, they have their PLEs on their platform. So that's why a lot of people want to get VPNs. That's why a lot of people want to do VPNs on, here in the US, because they don't want to be paying, $29.99 for ESPN and their new app that's coming out in August. So I can understand why. Let's see, but why pay $29 to watch 2 nights of Royal Rumble on ESPN? I mean, I get it, right? We're so used. I feel like we were a little spoiled with Peacock, right? Because Peacock was so inexpensive, right? I think I've only been paying like $8 a month for Peacock for the past couple years. But when WWE first transitioned to Peacock, I was only paying like $6. They offered it to me for like a year at at a smaller rate, and I was paying that for such a small amount. But now again, you have them transitioning over to ESPN, which, if you think about it, guys, they want to make more money. WWE is a global entity, right? They are a publicly traded company. They want to do whatever they can to make the most money also, right? So has it been one of those things where, you're a fan and it's just more expensive to be a fan now? Yes. I remember going to a WWE show just a couple of weeks ago before SummerSlam, and I paid around $300 for like 2 tickets, but normally, like, if this was like 5 years ago, that same ticket probably would have been just like $100 each. So I probably would have paid like $100 less overall. TJ on the YouTube side says WWE can bring back the WWE network, but they would have to keep on updating it as time goes on. Well, I'm sure they do update it in Europe. Like, I'm sure the app is getting updated and you're able to see it on platforms like Google TV, Roku in the US. Obviously in the US you can't access it because it's not, it's not there. It's not here in the US, so you can't access it on any of your television platforms that have smart apps, right? That's the bad thing about it. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet says $9.99. Yep. Because the prices are kind of steep. Yeah, so it's becoming more expensive, guys, to be a WWE fan in 2025, and that's going to continue on. We're not just seeing prices go up in the grocery store, guys, right? We're seeing prices go up to watch your favorite shows, which is pretty crazy. Like, you know, WWE and pretty much is now an on-demand product, right? Where you have to, you know, find it on different platforms just to be able to watch it, right? And like I said, I feel like we were spoiled having it on Peacock over the last couple of years, and now that it's moving over to ESPN in January, like how is it going to change for the how is it going to change the business, right? So four letters, one word says Yeet says. So if you already have Peacock subscriber, why not have them move all of them over? That's just not how it works, unfortunately. You know, it's different networks, it's different platforms, right? So, you know, it's like, you know, when a show moves off of Netflix and moves on to like another platform like Hulu or, you know, HBO Max, right? They're not just going to move all of its subscribers because they don't know that you subscribe to Peacock just for the WWE content, right? The point of having access to a streaming platform is so that you can watch all of their library of stuff, everything that they have on there, right? Peacock obviously is an NBC Universal own entity, right? Which, you know, they own, you know, a lot of different, you know, movie networks, etc., like that. So any movies that you see, any shows that you see on that platform, they're owned by NBC. Let's see. TJ on the DLP side says, on YouTube says, I stopped watching WWE because a lot of the stories in the past couple of years were rewrites of the same thing that they were putting out. They put out certain stories. You know, I agree. You know, to me, it's like the same format for the most part. You know, you have a bad guy that's like, you know, champion for a really long time, and you have a good guy that's kind of trying to rise up to finally be champion. You know, the good guy finally wins the champion, and then, you know, he loses it 2 months later, and then the bad guy goes back to being champion, and vice versa. You know, people always like to see the chase, guys. People don't really care. I feel like people enjoy having heels as champion more than having faces. If you're a little kid, you want, you know, your John Cena's, your Cody Rhodes to be champion. Like, that's just how it is, right? That's how it's always been. You know, because little kids want the good guy to be champion, right? Now, when you're an adult, you enjoy watching the bad guy be champion. So let's see. Armando says, I got an ESPN account, but I'm not paying $30 a month for streaming live or it's streaming live. Okay, so if you already have a ESPN account and let's say you have a network subscription, let's say you have Spectrum or whatever you have for your cable network, dish or satellite, right? Direct TV, whatever. If you have ESPN bundled in with your you know, with your platform, that includes YouTube TV also, guys. If you have YouTube TV that includes ESPN, then you will get these events at no extra charge. So that's the good thing about that. So if you already have all these platforms, then it's good for you in that sense. So what's going on? I'm getting messages over here. I stopped. Okay, but yeah. Okay, guys, hopefully on the, I don't know exactly what's going on this side over here. It's super weird. Super weird. My YouTube side is glitching. Gotcha about it, guys. Thanks for the likes, RNA. I appreciate it. Help us get to our chili goal of 100, by the way. My chili goal is 100. How do you feel about Brock coming back? Oh, okay. So that's going to be, that is going to be something that I can get canceled for, right? But I'm actually not upset that Brock came back. And I'll give you a few reasons why, okay? First of all, Brock, even though a lot of people hate him in the WWE because he is one of those guys that just comes in and does whatever he wants. He is a draw, right? A lot of people want to see this guy wrestle in the pay-per-views or PLEs because, you know, he is kind of like the final boss, right? In a sense, right? For a lot of people, you know, in the last 20 years, he's been kind of the guy that a lot of people have to go through to become that WWE champion, to be the face of the company, right? And also the fact that I don't really want to get into the litigation side of it, but if WWE cleared him to return, then there really isn't an issue. I can't tell you what's going on the lawsuit and Janelle Grant and everything like that. But if they wouldn't have brought him back if there was no reason to bring him back, right? If that was still a thing, and they were thinking, hey, let's not bring him back because it makes WWE look bad, etc., like that. A lot of people just jump to assumptions that just because somebody accused somebody of something, that means that it's true, right? He has not been found guilty in a court of law. I mean, aside from text messages or whatever they're saying, there's no other evidence, saying that this is true. So, just aside that his name was brought out, right? Again, it is what it is. I'm not there to judge that. I'm just here to watch wrestling and be entertained. I don't care. Like, I really don't care for that, as far as that goes. So was I a fan of Brock Lesnar? Not really. You know what I mean? I think his matches are entertaining, though. He's had good matches with a lot of, wrestlers that are up there, like Roman Reigns. I mean, if you think about it, Roman Reigns went through a lot of matches with Brock Lesnar, like, over the last couple years. Also, before he became the tribal chief, he was kind of duking it out with Brock Lesnar. A lot of guys that were moving their way to the top had to go through him. So again, really, I don't really care that he's back. It is what it is, but we'll see how it goes, and then we'll keep it going. And so, hey, we got Stephanie Silva, who liked the chat. Thanks again, Stephanie. That's my cousin over there, so shout out to my cousin. We are streaming live on the TikTok platform, by the way. So I am live streaming on YouTube, guys. If you guys would rather watch the live stream on YouTube, you can see it on my YouTube platform. I do have the links on my main page on the TikTok. So again, thanks for the likes, guys. We are doing our best here to just chat and talk to you guys about this. I do have to go to work in a little while, though. So, I'm probably going to be on for another 15, 20 minutes, get off, rest, change, and head to work. But yeah, SummerSlam was entertaining to me, guys. I really wasn't a fan of CM Punk losing the championship. I knew it was going to happen. Like, if you're a real wrestling fan, you kind of know the spoilers before they're going to happen, not just because of dirt sheets, but because you just have a feeling that it's going to happen. And I knew that CM Punk was going to win the title, but I also knew that Seth Rollins was faking his injury. We got Hassan Terrell on the YouTube side saying, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining in. We are live here on YouTube and TikTok. So how come the dude keeps taking Roman Reigns' shoes? I think it's just a joke at this point now. I thought the first time, okay, it was a power move, and now he's just doing it just to do it. Okay, if you guys don't follow wrestling, you might not know what he's talking about, right? But Roman Reigns has vividly been an advocate of wearing Jordan branded shoes, right? Every week that he comes out, he's wearing a different pair of shoes, mostly Jordans. He has worn Kobe's, but he's mostly wearing Jordans when he's not wrestling, right? He'll go into the ring, he'll be wearing like a badass pair of shoes. And then also sometimes during his actual matches, he will have his shoes designed after like a Jordan, or there'll be some sort of like collab. Yes, Hassan, remember to subscribe. We're on the YouTube platform. We're about like 6 subscribers from hitting 100 subscribers on YouTube, by the way, guys. So again, thank you guys for watching on the YouTube platform. Guys, thank you for watching on the TikTok platform. Again, I'm doing my best here. I want to get it set up to the point where I can simulcast on YouTube and TikTok. I might have to start using StreamYard for that. I just kind of have to figure it out. I know I have a friend, RNA, that knows how to stream on YouTube and TikTok at the same time, so I might have to ask her. So if you don't have ESPN on streaming service like Roku, would you have to subscribe to get the PLE? Yes. Okay, so again, unless you're paying for ESPN through a cable or a network provider, you will have to pay to get the PLEs at $29 a month. Now, again, guys, like I said, there are ways around it. But again, right now it's up in the air on, how people are going to do this, right? You can pay for a VPN, right? A virtual privacy network, which will allow you to change your location from the US to maybe a network in Europe. When you do that, you can subscribe to WWE Network on their platform on that side, or again, you might be able to access things like Netflix, on the other side of the world. So keep that in mind. But keep in mind also, you do have to pay for a VPN. Not all VPNs are cheap, right? For Some of them charge $10, $11 a month. Some of them want you to pay for an annual subscription, which might cost you $100 to $150. So in some sense, you're going to be paying about the same amount of money for a VPN, right? Surfshark, there you go. RNA says I actually have on my tech channel, because I have more than one YouTube channel, by the way, guys. I am partnered with NordVPN. So I might leave my NordVPN link in the description here just to kind of talk about it, or just so that you guys can maybe get started on that if you want. I think they charge for the annual plan, you're paying as low as $4 a month, but monthly plan, it's like $12, $11 or $12 a month. We have the semifinal boss in the house on on the YouTube site saying there's no way Disney ESPN parent company will only want PLEs. Did WWE say how much they got? Yes, semifinal boss. They're getting $325 million a year, or over 5 years. It's about $1.6 billion. So they struck out, man. Honestly, they're not paying as much as Netflix paid for Raw. But if you think about it, Raw has 4 events a year. 4 shows a week, which 50 some shows a year, right? 56 shows, or however many weeks in a year. World Studios Music said, let's see, Skynet is free if streams all sports free. Oh yeah, Skynet is, I believe, on the other side of the world, by the way. RNA says Nord is good too. Had that before. Are you into the NBA? Not so much anymore. I used to watch basketball a lot when I was like a teenager and maybe into my early 20s, but I kind of fell off after the 2015 season. Basically, after Kobe and Tim Duncan retired, that's when I stopped watching. Because it's just got very obviously it's like 70 plus games a year, or 82 regular season games, and then the playoffs. It's a lot to follow, but if you follow your specific team, it's not that bad. But the playoffs are fun. I still enjoy watching like the playoffs and whatnot. It's still fun to watch basketball. Semifinal boss on Netflix says that's the kind of low compared to Netflix, Fox, and USA. Semifinal boss, yes, it is low, but if you think about it, they're only getting one event a month. They're not paying Skynet, Sky Sports, not Skynet. LOL, yeah. Hey, we got a good amount on. We have a good amount watching on YouTube and on the TikTok side, guys. I don't know what's going on with Restream though. Restream is all jacked up over here. It's not letting me bring up my comment section on the screen. It's not letting me do a lot of things over here. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on. I feel like it messed up though, but it's okay. But yeah, I'm not too much into the NBA anymore. Shout out to the Thunder for winning their first championship this past year. I was going for the Pacers, but I live in South Texas, so I'm more of a San Antonio Spurs fan. When I was growing up, I was a diehard Bulls fan though. But then as I got older, I got more into the Texas teams. Obviously, I grew up in the Jordan era, right? So I was able to see, Jordan win his 6 rings. Maybe not all 6 rings, because I really didn't pay attention to basketball until like after like 90, 92, 93. But I was only like 6 years old. So 6, 7 years old. But let's see. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. People are asking what happened to Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is no longer in WWE. He wrestles for the rival company in AEW, or All Elite Wrestling, and he is known as John Moxley now. He goes by his real name. That's his real name, John Moxley. Actually, no, I don't know. That's not his real name. His real name is John Good, I think. But his stage name is John Moxley, which was his indie name, or indie platform name, I guess. So he kind of just kept it. So, but yeah, guys, I don't know. What do you got? What are your all's thoughts on it? If you guys have any questions concerning SummerSlam. I thought Monday Night Raw was pretty good. I kind of knew that Seth Rollins was going to retain the title. Obviously, the fact that him and LA Knight, had that match, I knew it was going to end up in one of those deals again at the end where they just continued to fight. And there was interference. I knew the Vision was going to come out and they were going to interfere in the match. I knew CM Punk was going to come out and get in Rollins' face. He was going to screw over LA Knight. And they obviously Roman Reigns got tsunami'd about 4 or 5 times. So they're gonna write Roman Reigns off of TV for a while because he's going to record the Street Fighter movie, which speaking of, guys, I just watched the new Naked Gun movie last night, and Cody Rhodes comes out as a cameo, and so does Batista. So I thought that was pretty funny in itself. But anyways, guys, yeah, I gotta figure out a way so I can kind of multi-stream on TikTok. And I have another computer, right? I could just literally set up a TikTok studio with this account and make it look a lot nicer, guys. So I think that's what I'm going to plan to do later on. I might have to have 2 microphones set up to do that. We'll see how it goes. Or if anything, I might have to use StreamYard and just kind of go from there. Again, RNA, I might have to message you about that so that I can continue doing my streams here on this platform. I'm not sure if you can link Restream with TikTok account. I'm really not sure. I might have to look into that also, because if you can, I might be able to just simulcast on Restream without having to do all that. So will Roman get revenge on Seth faction when he finishes his Street Fighter movie? Most likely. I feel like this is going to lead to a War Games match, which if you think about it, last year's War Games was the Bloodline with CM Punk, I believe, last year versus, I don't remember who the hell they fought. I think it was Solo's group last year, I believe. It was him, Tama Tonga, Loa, and I forget, and it was Bronson Reed who was on their side. So it was a 4, I think it was 4 versus 4 last year. But this year, I feel like we're going to see something similar, but it's going to be Seth Rollins' group as like the heel group versus CM Punk's side, which will be him. It'll probably be Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and probably Roman Reigns that comes back. So it'll be like a mix of the original Bloodline with CM Punk again, minus Jimmy Uso. I don't think Jimmy Uso is going to be involved this coming year. So we'll see how it goes, guys. Come on, guys. Guys, by the way, again, if you guys can, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Deathlog Podcast on YouTube over here. Again, I am streaming on that platform. This is the platform I typically stream on, but because I have a couple hundred subscribers on TikTok now, I feel like I should start streaming on TikTok and kind of share both platforms just so that we can get that going. Keep in mind on the YouTube side, sometimes I will have my co-host. I have 2 co-hosts that I normally stream with. They were busy today, unfortunately, so shout out to Mill Hustles, aka the semifinal boss, aka Gil Heyman, aka Mr. OF, and then shout out to Tito, aka Aloha Android, aka I forgot what nickname he had as far as I don't think he has a wrestling nickname yet, but let's just say Mr. Aloha. I'll call him Mr. Aloha. Shout out to him. So yeah, man, it could be on War Games this year. It could be 5 versus 5. So we have 4 letters, 1 word, saying it could be Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jimmy. So that could be a possibility versus Seth's group. But again, Seth only has 3 people right now, right? It's only him. It's only Bronson Reed. It's only Braun Breaker. So we have to see 2 more people that Seth kind of aligns himself with, right? We need to see. And it's 2 months away, but it could happen, guys. So we'll see what happens on that. We got a Alka in the house. What's up, Alka? In the house. See, I heard that John Cena is going to SmackDown this Friday to explain what happened between him and Brock. Most likely, I think from what I heard, John Cena only has 10 dates left. And it's August, so we might not see him for, I don't know if it's going to be this Friday or going to be the next coming weeks or whatever. But John Cena is face now, right? John Cena lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, which was one of the best matches I've ever seen John Cena in, right? Respectively, right? I was never really a big fan of John Cena over his 20-year period. I grew up in the Attitude Era, so I was more a fan of that era. But I still really enjoyed feuds that John Cena had, like John Cena Batista, John Cena Edge, John Cena CM Punk. John Cena, obviously one of his big competitors that he did it with was Brock Lesnar. I hate that Edge is gone now, right? Because literally, when Edge left a couple years ago, he could have stayed and he could have had that one more match with John Cena if he wanted to. But he decided to go end his career in AEW with his buddy Christian. Nothing wrong with that, but I would have loved to see another Edge and John Cena run one more time. Anyways, what is going on with Restream, guys? Why is it messed up? I can't even bring y'all's chats up, guys, which is like annoying. So let me see. Can I just bring this back up? Let's see. Nope, not even this fixes it. Can I fix it like this? Hold on. Can I add source media? No. Can I fix the scene by adding a scene? Nope, never mind. I can't fix it. This is messed up, guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me turn that back off. Is the YouTube side still there? Because I'm not seeing any chats on the YouTube side. So semifinal boss was the last chat. So I just want to make a clarification there. I'm a big fan of Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. Yeah, I was a fan of the Bloodline. I enjoyed the Bloodline, guys. That's something that I enjoyed. So is Cody not in the Street Fighter movie? Yes, he is in the Street Fighter movie. I think he already recorded his role, but because now he's champion. So he actually recorded his role already, from what I believe. But yeah, if he does end up taking time off, you guys know why he does have to record his portion of it. But I know Roman Reigns is taking time off to do his portion of that as well. So keep that in mind, guys. So we'll see what happens, Let's see. So, okay, hold on. Ethan Page and Theory will join Seth's group. Austin Theory possibly, because him and Grayson Waller did break up, or they did split finally. So that could be a possibility, because he was in one of Seth's original factions when he was the Monday Night Messiah, I guess, whatever he called himself. And I forget the other guys. I think Seth also had the Authors of Pain with him. That really didn't work out. No one really cared about that. And I enjoy Seth's new group. I think they call it the Vision now. I think it's working. A lot of people don't like it, but I think having Paul Heyman there just to annoy people and troll people makes sense, right? I could see Ethan Page and Theory joining. Ethan Page is the current North American champion. And I feel like the CW wants to hold on to him a little bit longer, because the CW actually likes Ethan Page. So we'll see what happens, guys. A lot can happen in the next couple months, right? We could see call-ups, right? That happen. You could see a guy like Karrion Kross also move over to Seth's group, right? Kross had the Author of Pains as his group. He did, but before he did, Seth Rollins had them. And, they ended up disbanding. The Authors of Pain got released, and then they came back, and then they linked up with Karrion Kross. That didn't work out, and guess what happened? They got released again, because nobody cares about those guys that way. I mean, they're big guys, and they look good, but I don't know. There was just nothing exciting about them, honestly. They were just big dudes. There's plenty of big dudes in WWE. You need to have, and when you're a wrestler, people think that you can have just good wrestling and have 30-minute bangers with flippity flop, right? With counters, no selling pile drivers and finishers here and there, right? I think that's something that WWE does a little bit better, is they sell their finishers a little bit better than in AEW. No, and don't get me wrong, guys. I watch AEW. I like to watch AEW also. I'm a big fan of AEW as well. My preferred wrestling outlet is WWE. I'm starting to actually watch a little bit of TNA also, right? Now that they're partnered with WWE, I sometimes will watch TNA live on Thursdays on YouTube if they're live. I think they go live on a specific YouTube channel. I forget which one. And TNA also, from what I've heard, might have a network deal very soon. So we might be hearing that news come out soon, right? So you never know. We might see TNA on the CW with NXT, because they are partnered wrestling companies. Or we can see them on a platform like A&E, right? It just depends, right? But all I can say right now, guys, it is the best time to be a wrestling fan, right? If you're a wrestling fan, it is the best time to be a wrestling fan. I love watching wrestling, guys. Sometimes it's a little much. I feel like sometimes the content is too much to watch, right? There's just too much wrestling to watch. There's a lot of people. I have friends that watch, TNA, New Japan. I can't really. Thanks to the Juggernaut for following, and thanks for joining in. By the way, guys, if you're new to my chat and to my channel on this TikTok page, I hope I never get banned. First of all, If I do, sorry. But I sometimes will stream the WWE PLEs, so we can do watch-alongs together. And I did AEW's All In when it was live. I only had maybe like 10 people watching All In with me, so or maybe like 15, 20 maybe. But I paid for All In, and not that many people. A freaking 8-hour event, guys. I was hella tired. I paid for All In, watched the entire thing, and it was enjoyable, etc. And then let's see. The Juggernaut says I make content on my channel as well. Well, if you're wrestling, if you're a part of the IWC community and you have a wrestling platform, shout out to you, man. I might have to check you out. Let me give you a follow. Okay, hold on. Juggernaut. Let me see. Can I follow you directly from here? Here we go. Follow back. There you go. I already followed you back, dog. So thanks again for the follow. If you guys are just following me on the TikTok side, thanks again. I have been a wrestling fan. I'm okay. I don't want to freak anybody out, right? My age, right? I'm 39 years old. I have been watching wrestling since I was like about 7 or 8 years old. So I've been watching wrestling for 30 plus years. Okay. I first started a podcast years ago with one of my co-hosts from when I was in college. I met a guy who was also a wrestling fan. And when I was taking like radio classes and like audio production classes, he was like, "Hey, bro, do you want to do a podcast together?" And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, I guess like we can try it. So we did a local radio show once a week at our university, right? And then before I graduated, I actually did an internship, right? Which I knew a few wrestling fans that were very knowledgeable that I brought in to do the show with. So I was actually doing a radio show at a local FM station, which, it was a nonprofit. So it didn't have what you would see at a normal radio station, but, I was still able to go live once a week and talk about wrestling. After that disbanded, I took a couple of years off from the wrestling podcast scene. And I've been trying to get back into it, right? So like on the YouTube side, I have 94 subscribers on the YouTube side. On TikTok, because I post wrestling, clips and stuff on this page, I have about a couple hundred. But I do want to do more as far as the TikTok side goes, even though I know TikTok after this year will not be a thing, guys. So that's why I want to share this. That way we can go over to the YouTube side, because YouTube is honestly my main platform. RNA, thank you for the chilies, by the way. RNA, I really appreciate you. But I just want, for the YouTube side, thank you guys for subscribing and being loyal subscribers. TikTok, again, I know once TikTok disappears, I don't know if I'm going to transition over to that M platform, whatever it's going to be called, because I'm just, again, like I'm not we'll see what happens. I probably will, but at the same time, once TikTok is officially gone in the US, I'm going to have to do that. 30 chilies from RNA. Thank you, RNA. Let's make things spicy over here. Anyways, thanks for the chilies, RNA. I really appreciate you. You're the number one gifter. Why are you crying? What's going on? Mario Gonzalez just joined. Thanks again for joining in. Again, we are talking about WWE and wrestling, guys, by the way. So, again, I appreciate anyone that's joining in. I kind of like the setup how I have it, though. I might try to clean up the background over here. Like, you see that little spot behind me, because like I'm streaming on my computer here, but we'll see. I might have to add like my wrestling. I have wrestling memorabilia and stuff that I can throw back there. So we'll see. I don't want TikTok to go away. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just joined the last couple of years. I know you were a little bit late to the TikTok scene, RNA, but your followers your loyal followers, right, will follow you to the platforms that you move to, right? Whether it be the red app or the purple app, or there's other streaming platforms out there, not just Twitch and not just YouTube. So look into it, find a platform that you're comfortable streaming on. And again, if you move to the M platform, I'm gonna follow you there. So because I want to follow you where you're streaming most, because honestly, you are my favorite TikTok streamer. So anyways, if you haven't followed, if you guys like Dance Revolution and art and any type of rhythm game content, follow RNA, by the way, guys. Shout out to her. I want to give her a shout out because she is very Very awesome. Very awesome. So I just joined it. But yeah, do I think Cross will resign with WWE? I mean, I know. Okay, first of all, I know that contract. I think his contract goes up at the end of this week. Karrion Kross, by the way, guys, we are getting asked about Karrion Kross. So his contract and his wife's contract, because he is married to a woman that's in the company also, go up this week. I believe he has been quiet about it for a reason, because I think they are under negotiations on a contract renewal. I mean, the fans have been very vocal that they want him to stay, and I think that they don't want another backlash or repeat of what happened with R-Truth or Ron Killings, right? Which is kind of crazy, because like Ron Killings, R-Truth, you know, they brought him back. He had like a few matches, and then he's been off the air. He's been off TV. So I don't know exactly what's going on with R-Truth. He's still under WWE contract. He's just not with them anymore. But anyways, guys, I can sit and talk about wrestling all day, guys. I mean, I love wrestling. You know, anyone that wants to mention AEW, we can talk about that also. But guys, I do have to get off, right? I do have to go to work in a little while. So again, guys, thank you guys for being on both of the platforms. I will see you guys soon. Again, WWE PLEs are moving to the ESPN platform starting January 2026. How that's going to affect everybody, we'll see how that goes. A lot of people might boycott it. If you're a real fan, you're going to find any ways to do it, though. I do work today, actually, so I was off yesterday. I work today, though. I'm closing, so I'm actually going to miss a little bit of your trivia night. So just a heads up on that. If I can get home by the time you're finishing, I might be able to catch the ending of it. But I won't be home until about 9 o'clock Central Time. So I do apologize about that, RNA. But I hope you have a very good, awesome trivia night today. On the YouTube side, thank you guys for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. We're going to close out on the YouTube side. Thanks again for watching, guys, on YouTube. We'll see you next